Shalom. This video is about the principle in Judaism of Dina, dimalchuta, Dina. The law of the land is the law. I want to talk about this subject for several reasons. One is, first of all, you have anti-Semites who have made the claim that Jews don't follow the laws of the land, they follow their own laws, which is completely not true. In fact, this accusation, this anti-Semitic accusation, goes back to the book of Esther, where the arch-enemy Haman says that exactly to the king. And my own life story is Senator Norm Coleman was running for the U.S. Senate, and he was a mayor of St. Paul, Minnesota. I got a call once from a non-Jew basically accusing him of when he went to the U.S. Senate, if he got elected, that's what he would do, because of this prayer on Yom Kippur where we disavow any vows. Well, I told the guy, first of all, that prayer is only about any rash vows we make to God, not any kind of governmental commitments. It's complete anti-Semitism. It's a canard. The other issue we have is that there are Jews who think, well, they're very otherwise observant, but they think that because these are laws of a secular society and not God's laws, we can violate them. And that is absolutely forbidden. In fact, I'll read you this from this very prominent Orthodox rabbi who said, many have reached the point where we fail to recognize that overstating a financial statement to obtain a loan is outright geneva, theft. Understating income to obtain benefits or pay less tax is outright geneva. Not paying sales tax is outright geneva. Filing false papers of any kind to obtain a financial advantage is outright geneva. And so you can't say, well, I'm otherwise observant, but I cheat this way. Absolutely forbidden. Now, where does it come from in Judaism? The principle of Dina, dimalchuta, Dina. Mary's, this great sage, Paskin, the position, he suggested that the rights of a king were expressed by the prophet Samuel, who, if you go to 1 Samuel 8, 11 through 17, the verses, he's listing there a whole host of the powers of a monarch, and he ends with the words, "And you shall be his servant." The commentators indicate that those words also applied to a non-Jewish monarch. The Rambam, Maimonides, agrees with a ruling authority is supposed to be granted the rights that are described there by the prophet Samuel. So that's Jewish law codified. Now, there are other places in the Bible which indicate the same thing. For example, Jeremiah 29:7. He is writing this epistle to the Judeans who are exiled in Babylonia, and here's what he says to them. "Seek the peace of the city, whither I have caused you to be carried away captive, and pray unto the Lord for it, for in the peace thereof you shall have peace." And then in the Talmud, in the Mishnah tractate Pirkei Avot, Ethics of the Ancestors, in chapter 3, Mishnah 2, the great sage Hanina, who is the Skan HaKohen, deputy high priest, he wrote this. He said this, "Pray for the welfare of the non-Jewish government, since were not for the fear of it, men would swallow each other alive." And the Talmudic sage Samuel is quoted in 4 tractates on the principle of Dina, dimalchuta, Dina. Now, this is not to say that you can violate, that you don't have to keep kosher if the society has some rule. You can't. This doesn't apply to Isurim, like Kashrut observance and Shabbat. It applies to the civil laws of the society, and the criminal laws too. We're reading this week, it happens to be when I'm making this video, the Parshat Mishpatim, which has dozens and dozens of laws of every kind. It touches on every kind of human activity, of civil damages and torts and accidents and damages and murder and manslaughter. But of course, we had our own law systems, and if we were governed by ourselves in a purely Jewish society, we make a case that we should apply those laws. But even Israel doesn't apply those laws. Israel is a society with many people, and so it takes that into consideration, but it's also based on British law and Turkish law. And certainly we're members of a secular society, America, for example. We follow its civil laws. We don't say the Jewish law here trumps the American law. Maybe we can certainly teach what Jewish law says, and if we think it makes sense, we could say that we think this makes sense, and we could argue through the legislative system for legal changes. But it's definitely possible, theoretically. But definitely the principle, Dina, dimalchuta, Dina, the law of the land is the law, is the overriding issue. And don't ever say, well, I don't have to follow this particular American law because I'm Jewish. Simply not true.